Welcome to the June 14th, 2021 Advance Report for McGowan Group clients and NetWorthRadio.com listeners. I'm Spencer McGowan, your financial weatherman with your fast-paced weekly tour of the global financial markets. I'm president of McGowan Group Asset Management. This comes together because a team of 10 dedicated to your success as an investor from right here at the Crescent in Dallas. We want to bring you what we're seeing in the markets, take your level of education and ability to make decisions to the next level. And special shout out to Harrison Smith, his dedication to help make the YouTube broadcast a big success. Dow Jones Industrial Average this week, look at that. It is stalled at about 34,500. The stall in the Dow, we're not sure what it means, and the inflation numbers may be part of that. About 5% inflation, which you'll see in just a second. That could be part of the stall because it's a worry for equity investors. This is the inflation number all the way back to 2006, 7, and 8. And you can see before the recession, 5.6% year-over-year inflation, increase in prices. And for the first time since then, we topped 5%. Does it portend a recession? Not likely with 9.3 million jobs available, another headline from this week. But it does say we need to be prepared for inflation two ways. The ideal way is to make gains and get big checks. And that may sound simplistic, but it's true. And so let's look at where we may have appreciation potential, not without price risk, but we may also have superior income. This is the pipeline index. The pipelines last year were an underperforming sector. And in March of 2020, they hit a very low point. This is year to date. What do you see about this chart? This is the kind of chart that we want to own stuff that acts like this. It's kind of gone parabolic here. The interest in energy and the pipelines is off the charts with oil hitting $71 at the end of this week. That's a big important sea change for the perception because it was just a few short months ago at the end of October that we thought oil and gas would just be outlawed and we could take a train to Hawaii. Not so fast. We are BTU agnostic. We love clean technology. We also love profitable companies, and we also love big dividends. And when we look at technology and the evolution and innovation in the energy sector, this is also one of the best inflation hedges historically. This is the number of people employed in the U.S., and it leads to an important question. You could measure the U.S. as GDP, as the overall dollars that in production by the economy each year. Or we could measure it from the standpoint, when are we going to reach record employment again? Here's the recovery. And at first, the fastest recovery in jobs in history. And you can see it's leveled off a bit, but there's 9.3 million jobs out there. The stimulus checks are over, and that means people getting back to work. There are enough jobs available to get us to record employment by this time next year, which would be great news for those still looking for a job, but also great news for the U.S. in general. This is a very colorful chart, but it also shows you what is the top performing sector in the market and what performed really well this past week. The most impressive sector was healthcare, and the medical dividends are also inflation friendly. That's a key part here, and it may even extend to medical REITs. During the summer, we've been harvesting some things, building cash, getting ready for the next correction if it occurs, and that's one of our target categories. Well, this sector, the number one sector reaching about a 50% gain so far this year, is the energy and energy infrastructure that goes with it, concurrent with that $71 a barrel. And I'll give you a potential that we could see in this cycle here at the end of the video that deals with that sector. Technology had a reasonably good week, and we can see it in the top 10 and bottom 10 here. If you look at the top 10 performers, Biogen, they came out with an Alzheimer's drug, cost 56 grand a year, by the way. Eli Lilly, and you can see in this chart right here, the top 2 for this week were actually in the healthcare sector, and that accounts for what we just saw. Now we go to the bottom just for fun. Organon, Dish Network, United Rentals. These are companies with apparently specific things that didn't work. Caterpillar had a setback as well. But the leadership of energy and potentially the medical dividend companies is intriguing. Now this is oil all the way back to 2001. So this is a 20-year chart for the price of oil. And so we went back, the high was 147 according to this chart in the last oil super cycle. And of course, energy was very popular. Then we had the recession, energy very cyclical there. But what does this tell us? Well, right now it's 71. This is still not inflation adjusted where it would be. If you inflation adjust that peak in that super cycle, then you get about 180 or 190. It's not a prediction, but it is a potential in this cycle, especially because of the restrictions on new supply and recovering demand. I'm Spencer McGowan, your financial weatherman. Pleased to be with you each and every week. Be sure to subscribe. This is a great YouTube channel, YouTube McGowan Group. This is a great YouTube channel for your kids. So send them the link, they get educated, and your friends that press you for financial tips, well, this is a good place for them to start. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be back next week with another fast-paced tour of the global financial markets. Thank you for tuning in to our YouTube channel. I'm Spencer McGowan, President McGowan Group, your financial weatherman. We sponsor each week networthradio.com broadcast that has the charts and graphs, many of which you saw today. We also sponsor this YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe for fast breaking news, an alert when we post something in a market condition that may have changed. Our goal is to help you as an investor make the right decisions at the right time. And that's part of what this YouTube channel is about, as well as networthradio.com. I am well served with a team of 10 people, including myself. And that team that cares is actually made up of people who devoted to your net profits and your success, as well as excellence in service. If you want an educational experience to follow this up, get to networthradio.com, themcgowangroup.com. Right here, we disclose our net client experience all the way back to 2001. What that includes, the bear market cycles of 02, 08, 2018, and the recoveries through the most recent quarter. That is true education of investors and exactly how our clients have done, disclosed right here. Further disclosures, value at risk of loss. Yes, investments are going to fluctuate. That's part of the reason for this broadcast, and that can actually work to your advantage. We'll build that into your plan. So I urge you to go to networthradio.com, fill out the preliminary client questionnaire, a free 1-hour brainstorming session by phone or at the Crescent in Dallas, and we will map out a multi-year plan for you and your family that's appropriate. Just because we talk about a security on this broadcast or any securities doesn't make it a recommendation for your portfolio until you have that written plan. Thank you for tuning in today, and we'll be back next week as your financial weatherman.